Good afternoon, one and all. Welcome back to the Thanet Stadium. If you are rejoining us for game 3 of 4 today in the Papa John's Community Cup finals here at the Thanet Stadium in North London, or actually if you're joining us for the first time, hello, welcome. Where on earth have you been? You've been missing out on some fantastic rugby. If you are joining us for the first time, as I said, hello, welcome, good afternoon. You join us here now for the Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield final between Thanet Wanderers and Crowborough RFC. Let's see how the nominated home side lines up for today's fixture then. Thanet Wanderers are that nominated home side, so let's take a look at them. In the front row we've got Harry Clemo, Daniel Clement and Gulliver Goodall, joined by Andrew Letts and Connor Brown just behind them in the second row. Warren Riddell, Broomfield, Noah Dan and Brett Scott make up their back row. Thomas Walton is at 9, joining captain Nicholas Herbert at 10. Andrew Dolan is on one wing with Harrison Quittenden on the other. Adam Harrison and Henry Myrams at 12 and 13 respectively, and Marius Thompson makes up the 15 that will start. And the Crowborough team list taking on Thanet Wanderers today. Well, they've started strong, they've really gone for it. Starting in that front row, Richard Tasker, Sam Edwards and Mark Rosier. Harry Slater and Will Creasy just behind them in the second row. Callum Main, Alex Purnell, the captain, and Dave Bennett, the vice-captain, make up that back row. James Hart and Bertie Boast, the half-back pairing, with Zeb Kisby and Elliot Wrench on either wing respectively. Tom Booty and Rob Lester in the centres, and Josh Radford makes up the final 15 spot. I'm also pleased to say that joining me once again for another rugby match, the third one of the day, and you can see the Crowborough fans ready and raring to go, just as much as Rocky Clark is raring and ready to go. Rocky, you must be very excited about this game.
I am super excited. The fans are here, the stadium is buzzing, the sun is shining. What more can you want? Game 3 of a marathon of 8 games we've done. This is going to be an outstanding game. We know how much it means to the two teams that are involved in this game. If the crowds are anything to go by, it's certainly going to be a firecracker.
Well, we can already see the Crowborough fans on the far side of the pitch. They're ready and raring to go for the action. Rocky Clark, England royalty, is raring and ready to go for action. And I'm sure we're going to be treated to an absolute peach of a game. And we might have just mentioned the Crowborough fans, but take a look at the Crowborough mascot on your screen now as well. They really have gone all out for this fixture today. And please welcome the two teams out onto the pitch today. On the left of your screen, Crowborough playing towards the right, and on the right of your screen, Thanet Wanderers playing towards the left. And they are vying to be crowned Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield final champions. Rocky Clark, this pitch has really started to heat up, but the rugby action has really started to heat up as well. What's going to be key to remember in order to get your team to success today?
Yeah, both teams obviously want to get a good start. They want to get into their patterns really quickly, but they also want to stick to what's worked so well for them over the last few weeks, few months. It's about letting your big carriers get you some front football, letting your backs have some space for the ball, and earning the right to go wide. Both teams are certainly ready for this. We can see them pumped up.
Tell you what, the staff of Thanet Wanderers also pumped up. They've got some very fetching custom t-shirts made especially for the occasion, and they do get us kicked off, and they get started on the front foot very quickly. Great claim in the air by Andrew Letts there. Thanet Wanderers on the front foot and charging forwards with quite the intent to start this game off with. Nicholas Herbert, the captain, taking ball right up to the line.
This is high tempo stuff, isn't it?
High tempo from the get-go, but Crowborough win the penalty, much to the joy of the fans on the far side of that pitch to us. And how you begin these games is going to be key in determining how they pan out across the full 80 minutes. And both these sides won't be used to playing on an artificial pitch. And I'll tell you all why you should be a little bit more excited about this one. Both these teams compete in the same league in the RFU system. And Crowborough finished 9th, and Thanet Wanderers finished 10th. So they are fierce rivals in terms of a league position in the regular season, and they now find themselves continuing to be fierce rivals in the post-season cup competitions. And Thanet managed to poach that one at the line out. The Wanderers really leaving Crowborough to wonder what went wrong there.
No lift.
It's already started.
I've got to get them in early, Rocky.
He's doing well at this. Pun City here.
Some call me the pun and base father, but we won't go there.
The pun police.
Here comes Thanet Wanderers through the high boots of Herbert. That's going to be a difficult one to claim for anyone on this pitch, and it's gone into the hands of the Thanet Wanderers team. And breaking away on this right-hand side now, Andrew Dolan surely for the corner. The try is good. We've got less than 2 minutes on the clock. Thanet Wanderers strike first, and it's Andrew Dolan, the left winger, who dots down for the first try in the game, establishing the Wanderers' dominance early on potentially. But how about this for a kick from the fly half, Nicholas Herbert?
Good work there, Rob, well,
Absolutely massive. Contested ball just falls kindly. He carries it, gives it to his winger, backs himself, just comes back in. Gets that vital score.
Dolan keeps so composed to be able to finish there under immense pressure. And showing straight away there why he caught the eyes of the Kent County team and why they made him a Kent under-20 this season at the ripe old age of 18 years old.
Easily be my child. He's not, but he could be. Such a baby. So much potential there.
Here comes Thomas Walton with the kick for Thanet Wanderers, but that one has wandered far across the face of the posts, so the extra 2 points won't be added to the tally, but they do come away with 5 points. And we're just getting another replay of that try.
Stay behind, Red. Timing.
Great little collection. Nice little offload, and he just does that arcing run to get around. Little hold and then steps back out. Great finish.
Great finish, great composure, a great start to the game if you're a Thanet Wanderers fan, but for all the travelling Crowborough fans, they won't be happy with that, and they'll want their side to instantly respond in this final. You can see there are a number of Thanet Wanderers minis that have made the journey down as well to cheer on their men's first team side. And Crowborough trying to start an attack directly in front of them here at the Stonex Stadium on Papa John's Community Cup Finals days. There's currently advantage Thanet Wanderers. They currently lead 5-0 in the Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield final. That's a good clearance kick from Crowborough that really put Marius Thompson under some significant pressure, but the fullback is going to round the defenders. Good offload on the floor from the fullback. And Thanet Wanderers, they're going to have to work with some slow ball here. And they get their first carry through Harry Clemo. Nice little delayed pass there from Brett Scott, showing his skill set early. Herbert with another high kick. You can see these are going to be a weapon from the fly half today, and Zeb Kisby doing well for Crowborough under pressure. He sends it straight back down to Herbert, who's charged down. Everyone's onside, and Crowborough are able to steal the ball off Thanet Wanderers. They are inside Wanderers territory. The Crows are on the front foot, but the ball has been spilt in contact by Dave Bennett. And so now Thanet Wanderers are attacking this blindside channel. Good sniping run there from Thomas Walton.
Yeah, he's looking for people to run off his shoulders, isn't he? Got his arms free.
We've already been told he loves to pick and go and have a snipe around the fringes of the ruck. So we'll be keeping our eyes on him for the rest of this game, because You never know, one of those snipes could result in a big breakaway, and he only needs a teammate to run off his shoulder. And he'll be in for plenty of tries this afternoon. Herbert over on the far side, but the referee will call them back for crossing in the middle of the field, and Crowborough get a penalty, and that ends Thanet Wanderers' most recent attack.
That's unlucky, they were in a really good position there. They got the ball out wide well. Angle and run in, just being too close, preventing the player to make the tackle. So crossing called, the player is in front of the ball.
Crowborough taking their time to get to this line out set. They're obviously just been having discussions about what they want to do here. They've gone for a shortened line out as well. 5 players in for the red and white of the Crows, and they set up a driving maul. And they've worked it to the back, but the Thanet Wanderers have come straight through, and Will Creasy had to tidy that one up quickly for Crowborough, because otherwise they were going to be in a bit of bother there, really. But in the midfield, Tom Boddy carrying well for Crowborough in these early stages. Lovely kick in behind from Birdie Boast. That's bobbling down the pitch. Thanet Wanderers are able to deal with that well thanks to Marius Thompson. And Thompson finds touch very well. Gives the Wanderers a little bit of breathing room. But Crowborough will be happy. They've still got the ball. They've got another chance to attack, Rocky.
They haven't particularly made much ground from where they had their other line-out launch play, but it was interesting to see they opted for the maul outside of the 22. They got a few metres with it, but then they had to get Creasy to come and rescue it. He got isolated as well, so they've just got to be careful of that. These teams are very quick on that jackal, that threat over ball.
Well, now James Hart is going for a run of his own, the scrum half, giving us a little taste of what he can do when he's given a little bit of space around the fringes, and Crowborough soldier themselves closer and closer towards that Wanderers 22-metre line. Lovely little show and go there from Bertie Bose to fly half. We've seen plenty of him on the ball today, and just about keeping that in his hands was Alex Purnell, the captain for the Crowborough side today. And they've worked their way well onto the far side of that pitch. They're knocking on the door now, the Wanderers 22. Another good line run by the open side flanker. Now Richard Tasker, the loose head prop, he's fighting his way. He's got Crowborough inside the 22 now. Boast back on the inside to his outside centre, Rob Lester.
Just slowed it down a bit now with that tempo. Feel that they could have done a bit more with that.
Crowborough have got the penalty advantage. You can hear the referee there letting them know. So they've got a chance to try something a little riskier now. And they go to do exactly that. They've gone down to the blind side. And it is Lester that was in a little bit of space, but ultimately it comes to nothing.
They got helped by the medic running in the way of the attack there that brought it to a cease. High tackle deemed.
So Thanet Wanderers, despite striking early, getting on the scoreboard early with a really good try, really good team try it must be said as well. Crowborough have fought their way down into the Wanderers 22 and for the first time could come away with some points, depends. Would you take the 3 here, Rocky, or would you kick to the corner?
I think I'd probably take the 3. Based on the last maul, it was okay, but it wasn't brilliant. And you know, you've been under pressure for a while. Just if you could get some points, stay in the fight, it'd certainly be a good exchange.
And they are indeed going for the post, but one thing we don't like seeing is players leaving early in these finals, because we know how much it means to them, we know how much it means to these clubs that are competing. And for Thanet Wanderers to be forced into making a change in the early exchanges, it's not ideal. The players are shaking their heads and obviously not happy with the fact that they've had to come off early. It is the big number 4, Andrew Letts.
Yeah, he's a big loss, isn't he? He's like Hulk Hogan coming off. Such a big man.
I'm told he's the one that does all the hard work for the Wanderers, so it'll be interesting to see how they deal without him. But for now, Crowborough.
He was the one that got the kick-off receipt, wasn't he?
He was, and Crowborough take advantage of their field position. They get themselves 3 points in this fixture, thanks to the boot of James Hart. It's a hearty fight back by the Crowborough team. They got themselves on the board with 3 points. The Thanet Wanderers still hold the lead 5-3 in the Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield final. And that was straight into the hand of Alex Purnell, the captain.
He's done a lot of carries already today. You can tell why he's a captain with his leadership and his hard graft around the park.
He's clearly a captain that leads by example. I'm sure we'll continue to see that in this game. And a really good take there from Marius Thompson, but he had about 3 Crowborough players around him after he had the ball in his grasp and 2 feet on the ground. But the Wanderers starting to get something together. Good quick ball now. Great tackle coming in though from Crowborough. That was a lovely hit from Callum Main. And now Herbert has to resort to putting boot to ball. It's going over the head on the far side. It's gone straight into touch. You can see Herbert's disapproval of himself for that play. And we'll march ourselves all the way back to where he kicked it from for a Crowborough line out.
Yeah, absolute let off there. That's criminal. As a fly half, you'll be really disappointed with that.
How do you recompose yourself when you have moments like that happen so early on? You know, we're only just over 10 minutes played. That's obviously frustrating for that to happen to the captain. What would be your message to him if you were his teammate?
You've got to forget it. You know, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone's human. Now move on to the next thing. What can you do that you can remember Wales for? It's a better drive by Crowborough.
Really good line out set there by Crowborough. They're starting to truck their way further down the pitch, and in the driving seat now is Harry Slatter at the back of that driving maul effort. And they're doing really well here. Thanet Wanderers try and split it and disrupt it. And they force Crowborough's hands to go out into the back line, and before he can even get going, Tom Boddy was brought down. He's had a great season so far for Crowborough, and he's looking to continue that fine run of performances here at the StoneX Stadium.
I'm not sure Callum Main was ready for that ball then. He was standing still, but scrum half gave it him.
Well, penalty against the Thanet Wanderers. Had already gone to attempt to turn it over. The ruck was formed, illegally trying to turn that ball over, the referee saying, so it's a penalty to Crowborough. And well, Boast is going to kick this down into the corner and give Crowborough a really good opportunity to get another driving maul going. I think it's clear to see how dangerous that's going to be in the course of this game. Once again, Crowborough taking their time to get to this line out. Rocky, is this... they don't want to rush anything, do they?
No, they're having a breather. They're composing themselves, and that's absolutely vital that they execute this. We've seen a fantastic drive and we've seen an average drive. They've got to get another fantastic one 10 metres out. Stepping off, don't transfer. Well done.
Good disruption there from Thanet Wanderers to stop Crowborough from setting up a driving maul. And so it means the Crows are going to have to resort to a different tactic to get themselves closer to that Wanderers try line. Standing in at scrum half, probably for the first time in his career, Mark Rossier, the tight head. Doing well though to get his team on the front foot, get some go forward ball for them.
They're making some good ground, and they're bouncing outside of the second person in defence. The bodyguards, they're making good ground. It's a weaker tackle. And they're just making the yards up now.
Boast has got the ball, it's been flown out to him. He's been wrapped up by the Wanderers defence though. And they've conceded the penalty because Boast was isolated. So Wanderers, that's their first get out of jail for free card played. But they're going to tap and go quickly. They've seen some space on this near side. What can they do with the space in front of them? Working back in field now for them, Thomas Walton. He's got the offload away. Adam Harrison charging towards the corner. One defender to beat. Thrown down into the floor by Zeb Kisby. Connor Brown, the latest to carry forward for the Wanderers. They're about 10 metres out. Crowborough caught napping. Wanderers could reap the rewards here for capitalising on a team that weren't ready for that quick tap. And now they're the ones asking questions of the opposition in the red zone. Ball slowed right down here though for the Wanderers, so we wonder how much longer it will stay in that ruck area. They're not exactly making the same yards that Crowborough were from the pick and go around the fringes, Rocky.
No, you'll notice that they're picking in a zigzag.
They've set up a good driving wall here from the open play. They're less than 5 metres out from the try line. They're inching their way closer and closer. Crowborough just managing to bring it down and forcing the turnover.
That's a tactic I haven't seen since I played France about 10 years ago, where they'd set up a driving maul in open play, and it actually nearly worked for them. But of course, when it's a maul and it collapses, players don't have to roll out of the way, so it gets deemed unplayable. So it's a turnover ball, so a let off for Crowborough there.
Well, here's a replay of the Thomas Walton break that's got the Thanet Wanderers to the position that they're in now, and you can see the 9 desperately trying to keep their attack alive, and he does so well. And just when I thought Adam Harrison was going to be away and in the corner, Zeb Kisby threw him into the ground like it was a wrestling match, not a rugby match, Rocky. I wonder if they can keep that sort of physicality going in defence.
Well, that was so good to come across, because we thought it was a certain try, and the quick thinking of Tom Walton there to do that quick tap, and bold to play out from his 22. Excellent vision.
That's a good box kick from James Hart, but it has found Andrew Dolan, the try scorer for the Thanet Wanderers. We already know how dangerous he can be with a bit of open field in front of him. And now the Wanderers, they'll have to go again. They'll have to try and launch another strike play to get themselves inside the Crowborough 22, and it's not going to be easy, because we've already seen Crowborough exhibit a really hard physical defence. Herbert inviting the big strong ball carrying Daniel Clement. The offload not quite working from the front rower. And sadly the Wanderers forfeit the ball there, and Crowborough will take them time with this clearance, and Boast sends it down the left hand side of the field, spirals that into touch. And those are some tense moments, because Daniel Clement ran an absolute peach of a line, Rocky.
He did. He looked like a flying ox going through there, and I thought he was going to go all the way, but brave tackle there, and he just lacked composure with that big offload, rather than actually setting it up or being a little bit more secure with it. But you know, great intent from the hooker to go through there. Great hard straight running lines, and that's what you want to see the big man doing all day.
Well, that lineout's not exactly gone to plan for Thanet Wanderers, and it's right in front of the Crowborough fans. And they let out a big cheer, because their side have turned the ball over, so they've got possession just inside their own half. It'll be interesting to see if maybe they can launch a surprise attack of their own and upset what was really good field position for the Wanderers.
Just seeing Warren, Riddle, Broomfield getting around, making a couple of tackles there behind the gain line.
It's bouncing really awkwardly for all involved, and it could be Crowborough that have come away with it again. It's Crowborough that are rewarded with the penalty taken in the air. Thanet's penalty count really letting them down, and the Wanderers are marched back again, and Crowborough through Boast will stick this further down the pitch. And surely another driving line out maul will see them venture into the 22 once again.
Yeah, we'll just have a look up if they've got a forward in at scrum half. That will indicate it's more likely for a driven maul.
They have got Dave Bennett, the vice captain of the Crowborough team, standing in that scrum half position. And he wasn't the one that went in to receive the ball, because Crowborough read the fact that the Wanderers were standing off well.
That's the risk when you stand off, especially if you're close to the try line.
They've done exactly what they probably set out to do. They've got inside the 22, and now Boast shows and goes.
Caterpillar there waiting for the ball to come out.
Big carry there from Richard Tasker, the loose head prop, marching his way further into the Wanderers 22, and I'm not sure that Harry Slatter was ready to receive that pass, but the second row's done really well. And Boast, oh, he scuffed that one. It's not worked out to be the crossfield that he wanted, but it is scooped up by Elliot Wrench.
Well, technically they got it back, but just probably 10 metres behind their line.
And it's been stolen by the Wanderers at the ruck as well. So this has really not gone to plan for Crowborough, and they've got to retreat back to make sure that they're ready for any kick that might come through, and that's exactly what Thomas Walton's setting up to do. Here comes the box kick.
That is super high.
That's come down with ice on top of it, I'm pretty sure as well, and it's troubled the fullback Zeb Kisby. The first knock-on came from Thanet, the second knock-on by Crowborough, so we'll restart with a Crowborough scrum, right on touch.
Warren got his hand to the ball, didn't he? But he knocked it forward with it, which he was first there. If he could have just tapped it back his side, then that would have been a great return.
And we're taking our first pause for a little water break now. And both these clubs can boast about the following that they have. Crowborough especially, they are the largest community amateur sports club in East Kent. They have many faithful followers and many who turn out each week to represent the club. And that is evidenced by the travelling support that are here today at the Thanet Stadium in North London for the Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shields final. Only 2 points in it at the moment. There was only one position between them in the table at the end of the season. So this is a huge game in terms of bragging rights, but also in terms of claiming a piece of English rugby history with a new addition of silverware to the trophy cabinet back home. Here come Crowborough with the push at the scrum. Hart is cheering on his pack, but it's out with them in the back line. Big carry there from Rob Lester, trying to get Crowborough on the front foot. Thanet meeting him well, matching him in defence. But going around the outside of the defenders, Will Creasy, the second rower. He's bound into a bit of space and he's made some good yards. A bit of a loose pass there, but it's working all right so far for Crowborough. Good hands from Tom Buddy to claim that before it hit the ground. But Boast had to stand in to help clear out over the ball. The fly-off won't be happy with that. He's trying to call his forwards in to help out. Referee was shouting for hands off. Thanet didn't hear him though. And they'll give up a penalty. So it's another opportunity for Crowborough to put themselves in a threatening position. I think the fans are really helping them out on that far side of the pitch, Rocky.
They are so loud, and I know, having played in front of crowds, how much it cheers you up, gets you going, and it's certainly loud. I can hear it over here, it's really loud. So some of the calls will be a little bit difficult, especially line-outs that side. We've got so many fans shouting.
And Nicholas Herbert just having a word with the referee. He was called over, like a naughty schoolboy called over by a headmaster. And he's just letting him know that enough is enough. No more penalties. If they keep this up, we could start to see players disappear from the pitch, because we've already seen that in these StoneX finals. Play just out up there for a second because Crowborough were waiting to get the match ball off of their own fans, and we will be back underway with the line out in their favour. It's gone over everyone of that line out, and Thanet Wanderers come away with it. Quick hands surely, because there's space here on this wing, and Marius Thompson sees it. He doesn't want to give the pass. Instead he's cutting back infield to make sure the Wanderers don't go out into touch. And perhaps Thomas Walton's controlling this. He wants his forwards to create that long caterpillar chain you spoke about, Rocky. He's going to do a lovely high box kick for us again.
Yeah, it just stops a big second row being able to charge you down with that longer caterpillar, but it really does slow the ball down. Now the big man, oh, he's got his dummy, but he's just thrown a wayward pass, but got away with it.
Connor Brown trying to exhibit some silky skills of his own. And that has been booted out into touch. We've had enough of kick tennis. We want to get on with a bit of rugby. And that was the decision of James Hart, as he thumped that out. And Thanet Wanderers will have to put it at the line out. Recognised by Sussex, Rocky, as one of the best run clubs in the county, Thanet Wanderers. So Crowborough, sorry. So big kudos to Crowborough for having that sort of setup.
Great accolade to have. It's so important in the community when you've got such a good club feel, and you're providing a great minis junior setup, and you've got good pitches, a good vibe when you go there, everybody looking after each other, the volunteers that put their relentless hours in, the teams that work so hard in training, and they've got their full-time jobs as well. We've seen some really good quality come out on the pitch today.
Those volunteers are the ones that make all the difference at these clubs up and down the country, at whatever level they may compete in. And we thank each and every one of them for giving their all to make sure rugby can keep going in different parts of England and keep the beautiful game going. Now, what can Crowborough do with this field position? Kisby. So makes a little bit of ground there for Crowborough. Harry Slatter carrying forward now. The second row has already enjoyed a few carries with ball in hand, and a lovely chip over the top by Boast. It won't be claimed by a Crowborough hand. Instead, it was Adam Harrison doing some tidying up. And Crowborough off their feet at the ruck, so they win the penalty. And Adam Harrison just taking a little bit of extra time to get up there, because he did receive quite a thwack from the onslaught from Crowborough as they looked to steal the ball back off him. Good vision though from the fly half, Rocky, to make the chip over the top. Bertie Boast clearly saw some space in behind and wanted to exploit it.
Yeah, he's got a lovely boot on him, hasn't he? And we've seen it all day. He is going to that boot and that lovely chip over, just trying to get his team the ball back. He's seen a little bit of space. Great to see.
It's also great to see the fans that have made the journey down here to support their team, to support their local club. They're enjoying the sunshine and the occasion here at the Stonex Stadium in North London. No one's gone up in the air to claim that, but Thanet Wanderers will claim it around the back through Leonard Brown. And Herbert now, the fly half and captain carrying forwards. He's knocked it on in the tackle. And there'll be Crowborough's ball once again. It's very stop-start at the moment still, Rocky. We've had 2 scores in this game so far. Crowborough with a penalty, Thanet with a score, with a lovely try. But ever since then, it's been very stop-start. Not much to separate these two.
No, there isn't. There's a lot of rugby being played in the sort of middle of the pitch in between the 22. So it's now about just creating those mismatches. Can you get a slower front 5 player on the edge? Can you take him out of shape, and can you let a speedster go around the outside? Or can you pick off maybe a winger that's got caught in at guard or bodyguard and do the pick and go through the middle of them? We've got to create these opportunities. Or is it, well, we've seen a number of occasions, players getting their arms through and somebody running off them. Huge scrum here from Crowborough.
Shouts of heave coming from the far side of the pitch with the Crowborough faithful. And Boast will send that down the pitch, looking perhaps for the 50-22. He's not going to get it. So they'll come back for the scrum penalty. Dave Bennett just asking the question of the referee whether that had actually gone out, because he'd much prefer the 50-22. But it's all right, because if Bertie Boast can kick it from there into the 22, I'm sure he can kick it again into the 22, but this time with a penalty.
Yeah, straight out of hand, and he can clear it properly rather than needing the bounce.
Well, Thanet Wanderers being marched back deeper inside their own half by Crowborough. It's not going as far downfield as Bertie Boast's potential 50-22. But Crowborough will enjoy having a line out, not in their own half. And hopefully claiming the ball. It's going to go to the back. Questionable whether that was straight, but Crowborough come away with the ball now in the middle of the field with Will Creasy.
What a carry. What a tackle, to be fair, as well on him.
Well, we've already seen the second rows used a lot in this game for Crowborough, and sprinting away is Alex Pennell. On that far side, the captain
just got to use the high tempo. They get that half break. Use it, don't slow it down. Letting the defence get organised.
It's paining you a little bit, Rocky, seeing them slow it down.
I'm going to have to go down and do the half-time chat.
Well, we are into the final 10 minutes of the first half, so Crowborough we're going to strike. It's definitely now, because having the upper hand going into the half-time break, it's a big advantage to give yourselves. And now the forwards, they're picking and going. They're using that peel carry that worked so well earlier in this first half.
Now just look at this setup. They're having a player out wide that they're bouncing out to. Of course now they're not.
They've gone back to the blind side because Richard Tasker fancied himself as a winger. The loose head prop making some good meters for Crowborough. That pass hasn't found anyone, and so diving onto it was Harry Slatter. Both second rows working extremely hard for Crowborough so far in this game.
So here we go, we've got the hooker waiting to latch through, go over the top. Possibly needed to do a little bit more there.
Well, Crowborough have got a penalty advantage as well, so it's a question of how long will they keep it in with the forwards. As I say that, it's out with Boast. Lovely pass in behind. Almost tackling themselves though was Rob Lester.
I can't believe he was so low to the ground and leg drove about 10 metres. That's amazing.
We will come back though for a penalty advantage to Crowborough. And we're going to listen into the ref here. Well, the referee clearly stating that Thanet Wanderers were on their final warning. Another offence, another series of offences by the Wanderers, too close to their own try line, has resulted in them being reduced down to 14 players onto the pitch for the next 10 minutes. And any time spent a man down in a Shield final is not good news, Rocky Clark.
No, absolutely not. That's tough to have a man down, and we've seen it so many times today where it's been crucial. Losing that player, and the other team has scored. But having said that, we had a game earlier where they scored 2 tries when they were down to 14. So not always the biggest loss, but something so tight you could see it being the 2-point game at the moment.
That is the magic of the Papa John's Community Cup finals. And Crowborough are marching forwards in this scrum. That is a great drive from the forward pack. They've won the penalty advantage. They're getting closer and closer to that try line, 5 metres out.
Oh, he scored on the wrong line. Oh, he's still trying to put it down, bless him, he hasn't realised. Oh, no, bless him.
He's coming up for air from that rock.
Oh, he is. Purnell, bless him. Got a feel for him. I've done it before, but not as number 8, just a pick and go.
It was the captain thinking that he'd scored, but we'll just reset for another scrum.
It's not as if the forwards haven't done anything, is it?
They've been working extremely hard, to be fair. Crowborough got a fantastic push on there at the scrum, establishing some early scrum dominance, and they'll be looking for much of the same, because it's not impossible to actually walk it in for a penalty try from this distance, is it, Rocky?
No, but you want somebody to get the score for it. Just seeing big tight head there ready from Crowborough. Mark Rosier, his thighs are pumping, muscles bulging. He's got his man.
It's pinged out, unfortunately, and it's evaded the hands of James Hart, the Crowborough 9. Offside called against Thomas Walton, though. The Wanderers scrum half straying beyond where he's allowed to go.
I thought they'd made a massive boo-boo then, Crowborough, but luckily he was offside. Now I would call a scrum again.
You've got to think at one point, at some stage, another player will have to go to the sin bin if they keep conceding scrum penalties and for similar offences as well, because Richard Tasker, Sam Edwards and Mark Rosier of Crowborough are really working well together in that front row.
They are. They're really earning their beer tonight. Really strong pack there. Has worked for them all season. just got that dominance now. Got to do it again.
Well, here comes another Crowborough crunch. They're pushing their way forwards. Thanet Wanderers have to start walking backwards and spinning around. And Purnell will peel and go. Will the captain get close to that try line? He does. They're 2 meters out. Surely are they over for a score?
That's held up to me.
It's short. The referee calling for Thanet to release. They're over for the score. A clear try from the big second row Will Creasy. He's got over for the score. And Crowborough strike in this Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield final.
Creasy strutting his way out from the try line. Exceptional try there for the big man. Quick thinking, quick dot over. He's punching the air. He's got his team the rewards they wanted from all that hard work. Second row so important in the engine room in the scrum. You certainly know when you haven't got a good second row, you're under a lot of trouble in the front row. So massive powerhouse there. He's got his team extra 5 points, but he's been a massive asset to that scrum and around the park. But his day is not over yet. He's still got another 45 minutes left.
His day is not done, and both the second rows working extremely hard for Crowborough, as we've already said, in this opening half. And with less than 5 minutes left in the first period, they find themselves 3 points up against Thanet Wanderers. And it's a difficult kicking angle for James Hart to work with, but it sailed through the uprights to the roar of the crowd. Crowborough extend the lead they've just been rewarded with. It means the score is now Thanet Wanderers 5, Crowborough 10 in this Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield final. They have the upper hand, and we are just minutes away from the half-time break. Thanet Wanderers need to come back, and they need to come back quickly with something, as Marius Thompson looks to get them restarted. I'm actually losing the tight head Mark Rosier. He's being ushered off the pitch, and joining us now is Ollie Clinch in that 22 jersey for Crowborough. Thompson gets us underway. Purnell grabs the ball and he puts Crowborough on the front foot again, but stolen by Harry Clemo. Wanderers getting closer towards the 22. They're now inside, down the left wing once again, but out into touch, Andrew Dolan. The winger is looking very dangerous. It won't be the last time we see him on the ball.
No, he's been a threat with the ball in hand. Just need to get him a little bit of space with it. Danger man out on that wing.
Crowborough need to get some tidy ball here. You don't want to give up possession from a line out 10 metres out from your own try line. That's risky business. And they claim it well through Purnell. He obviously heard me. Takes it straight to ground, and they set up. Ball is being called out by the referee though. Wanderers coming right around the corner. And the second row, Connor Brown for Thanet Wanderers, was the only one that seemed to have heard him. He's making himself known, the referee, in his decision that the ball was out. But it only comes to a scrum. So Crowborough really lucky to get away with that there, because for a second it looked as though Thanet Wanderers had caught them off guard.
Yeah, it was nervous time for them. Got to secure it better.
Crowborough with another strong push. Thanet Wanderers struggling to withhold that, but then holding firm after the initial shove, and Hart sends that deep downfield, out into touch for a good territory gain there for Crowborough. Gives them a bit of breathing room. And as we approach half-time, Rocky Clark, what's your message to that Thanet Wanderers side, who started off much stronger but have kind of fallen off after losing a man to the bin and after conceding a try to Crowborough?
Yeah, they've got to firstly cut out the penalties. They've got to get the ref on side. Penalties that they stop giving away enables them to keep more possession, execute line outs. Just a short throw there, so maybe throw closer to the front. Got to get themselves some space.
Boast puts boot to ball, sends this deep downfield. That's a good take from Andrew Dolan, the try scorer. He puts in a kick of his own. Hart inside to Kisby. He sees a bit of space in the middle of the park. Thompson is there though. Marius Thompson, the fullback for Thanet Wanderers, doesn't want to kick it back. Instead he throws a nice pass out wide, and unmarked in that space is Harrison Quittenden. He's brought down before he can get much speed and pace going though. And Crowborough comes storming through the ruck. They look to turn this over. And they've got a penalty advantage as well. They get the penalty awarded to them. Quittenden getting in the way.
They were railroaded, weren't they, out of that ruck? Absolutely charging through Crowborough. Played it twice, not allowed to do that.
And here comes Bertie Bow stepping up to the mark as our clock enters red. So there can't be too much longer left on the referee's wristwatch. Crowborough again taking their time to get to the line out, taking their time to get set. Something that we're trying to stamp out of rugby on a global scale, really, Rocky. Do you think we need to hurry up these sorts of moments, or should we give teams the opportunity to take their time to waltz over for a line out?
There's nothing more frustrating when people really take the mickey, taking too long. Like, yes, you need to organise stuff, but especially if a team is unfit and you want to run them ragged, that's really annoying when they're too slow.
Well, it's worked for them because Crowborough still have the ball. And it looks as though Thanet Wanderers might have turned it over through Noah Dan. He was over the ball, but through the middle of the park and storming through. Crowborough still go forwards now. Boast out the back pass. They're working it into the wing. Kisby using some flashy feet.
Harry Slatter with the earlier leg drive, the big man from the second row. And working really hard with Will Creasy as well.
Purnell with another carry, really leading from the front, the captain now. Crowborough staying very flat there, but it doesn't matter because Creasy is riding the challenges of the Wanderers' defence. And Crowborough ship this ball out wide onto that far touchline. They're getting ever closer to the 22-metre line. Ball out probably again. Hart has to ship that on quickly before anyone else can pounce on it, and Dave Bennett gets Crowborough inside the 22.
Just taking all the momentum out of the speed of it. In one ruck I saw 6 people, in the next ruck I saw 1. Got to just make sure those ruck numbers are correct.
Lovely little spin there from Purnell. The out the back pass, not quite as good as the pirouette.
Didn't need to do it, did he?
But Elliot Wrench is coming off his wing and charging forwards. Just brought down by Marius Thompson. Great tackle from the fullback. And it's Purnell again surging forwards for Crowborough. Surely they'll be resorting to their pick and go carries now round the fringes as the fans in that stand on the far side of the pitch start cheering for their team. The Wanderers turn it over, they win the penalty. Who knows, could that be the end of the first half?
That was a vital turnover.
Well, Thomas Walton sends that one into the stands at the StoneX Stadium. It brings the first half to a close. It's a very closely contested fixture at the moment here in the Papa John's Community Cup Finals at the StoneX Stadium. So at half-time, the score reads Thanet Wanderers 5, Crowborough 10 in this Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield Final. We'll be back after a short half-time break. Don't go anywhere though, because everything could change in the second half.
a riveting game of Mario Kart going on, and not that I'm biased, but Holly is the best. How did that feel, Hol? How'd the win feel?
Shut up. Shut up.
Abby's not in a good way.
Yeah, sad. If anyone wants to know, I came third.
No one wanted to know how. Well done, Hol. Proud of you.
Okay, this is recorded now.
She's done it again. Tag team. How you doing over there, Abby?
Last session before we fly over to Ireland, but let's make sure that we use it to its maximum potential. Let's make sure we're clinical when we're working hard, and let's just really go and attack it.
Out it goes again. Chance to the outside. And Sarah Beckett, who took the very first carry of the game, finishes the first try. It's taken less than 2 minutes. Quick ball again for England. Aitchison, lovely pass on the outside channel. Tatiana Hurds into the corner. Tatiana Hurds.
Ball's out. No.
So we're back into the second half of the Papa John's final, Community Cup final here. Crowborough on the ball. Ball out wide, just a little skip pass. Oh, he's just took his eye off the ball there. That's unfortunate for him. Zeb Kisby just taking his eye off the ball then.
Good start though. Flying out the blocks in the second half.
Yeah, they did. It was an opportunity. Just saw a little bit of a fumble in the early parts, but they came back from right to left. Had an opportunity out to the wing. But back into the scrum now. We've seen Crowborough with a dominant scrum.
Well, Thanet Wanderers managed to keep the ball at the scrum they had to put in with. They are chasing a 5-point deficit at the moment. They are chasing a try, a converted try. We see them take the lead again. You see the big boot of Walton Hughes once again at the box kick. And it's claimed by Crowborough, and now maybe a little bit of space in the middle of the field. The winger Josh Radford almost broke free for Crowborough. That one's been kicked downfield, and it bounces out just in front of Conor Brown. The big presence in the second row. He's definitely one to watch, because every time he seems to touch that ball, he makes a dent through the Crowborough defensive line, and there's no wonder that he's going for a quick drink of water as well.
Yeah, they're asking some big minutes out of the big man, aren't they? You certainly don't want to run into him down a dark alley, do you?
I don't think I want to run into him in a brightly lit alley, to be perfectly honest.
That's very true, or even a rugby pitch.
Or even a rugby pitch. But Thanet Wanderers also taking their time now to get to the line out. We saw Crowborough in the first half taking their time, and they've stolen it out the line out. Or have they? Because it's bobbled around everywhere on the floor. Who's going to come away with it is the question. It is Crowborough. Somehow they've managed to work some magic and claim that ball. So Purnell, the captain, will come away with it. But he's going to be penalised for holding on the floor. Thanet Wanderers applying the pressure and winning the penalty.
Now there's just a coaching point there for kids and people new to the game. Think about landing on the ball. Purnell done so well, really good carry. He's been absolutely everywhere, but he very quickly went side on, and that's an easy jackal.
Thanet Wanderers looking to play out of their own half here, and out on that far side using a bit of fancy footwork, trying to give it a bit of show and go. Charlie Knight,
No, get back, 13.
the rising star of the Thanet Wanderers side. He's lightning quick. Once upon a time he scored 7 tries in 1 game, Rocky.
No,
That's an achievement at any level in rugby.
It's huge. He's obviously got good finishing ability and one to watch, and as you said, massive potential.
And he's the one charging up in defence to put Crowborough under some significant pressure. But Boast's boot puts it down the other end of the park. And he comes up to claim it for Crowborough. Is there a hole for him to run through? No, he finds the shoulder of Charlie Knight.
Advantage, straight over, red penalty advantage.
Crowborough have a penalty advantage. They will take it.
Straight over. Must stay on your feet and stay up.
Well, Thanet Wanderers have retreated now to inside their own half. And Crowborough have possession. They're trying to get the match ball off the Thanet Wanderers minis that have come to support the side today. And then we'll soon be back underway. Worth mentioning them now, actually. It's great to see the Thanet Wanderers minis are here supporting their men's first team. They have a broad and thriving minis and junior section at the club. Something for that side to be proud of, and this men's team here are certainly inspiring the next generation. Penalty advantage now for Crowborough. So Crowborough send that into the corner. And they'll have a line out. Oh, I'm going to take a guess here, Rocky. You can tell me if I'm right or not. They're going to have a line out about 15 metres out.
No, I reckon it's about 11.
11?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's much closer.
Yeah.
I'm way off. Takes years of skill, I guess.
It does, even if I make it up.
Purnell claimed the ball at the line out for Crowborough, and the initial shove forward was held off well by the Wanderers, and they repelled it, but good communication from Crowborough means that they've peeled, they split well, and working through the middle, trying to disrupt it. Leonard Brown for the Wanderers. He's landed on top of the player and ball.
It's got to be immediately available.
So it's going to be turned over. Thanet Wanderers will have the put in at the scrum. It's not good news for Crowborough in that sense, because it's another opportunity squandered, really, in terms of field position, Rocky. Sorry, I keep interrupting you as you're trying to eat the delicious food that's available here to us at the Stonex Stadium. I say the hospitality's been fantastic. The Stonex Stadium in North London, home to Saracens. It's home to the Papa John's Community Cup finals here in North London. The sun is still with us, much better weather than we had yesterday. And we've been crowning more champions here on Coronation Weekend. We're just taking a longer stoppage in play because Connor Brown, the second rower for Thanet Wanderers, is receiving a little bit of treatment from the physio team. They've gone on the pitch to assist him. And they won't want to lose the man making big dents in the Crowborough defensive line anytime soon. And he will soldier on, because in these sorts of finals, Rocky, everyone wants to stay on for the full 80 minutes. And no one wants to go anywhere, do they?
Absolutely not. They've got to give everything, got to give all their might to stay on. Obviously they need his size there. in the second row as well. The scrum's been under a little bit of pressure, so I've got to use all his experience to help win this scrum.
Well, Crowborough have been the stronger scrummaging side so far in this fixture, and they're pushing Thanet Wanderers back towards their own try line, and Brett Scott has no option but to peel and go as quickly as possible. And Crowborough almost started a good counter ruck. We've seen them do it plenty of times in this game. And Thanet Wanderers, Thomas Walton just starting to create a bit of a caterpillar so he can get a box kick in. And that's up. And it's going to be claimed, almost claimed by Charlie Knight. And we're going to come back without listening to the referee here to what he has to say, because it was a fair collision. But Rocky, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, so Thanet's gone up for it, and it's a collision in the air, that both players are looking at the ball.
I'm seeing initially contact where both looking for the ball. You've got something different? Okay. Okay. Okay, so recommendation? Just penalty only. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, yeah, thanks. Captains?
Let's listen to this conversation between the two captains and the referee. Okay. No cards, I think. Just a penalty.
From the AR is that the blue 20 initially was going to compete for the ball, but never ended up in a good place to be so got underneath the red player, but brought him down safely. So we're looking at penalty only, okay? Penalty only, but it will be against blue for the actions in the air, not keeping the player initially in the right place, okay? Happy with that? Okay, all right.
You're right.
Yeah, okay, so...
You should have made the most of it.
Okay, we're good. All right, over here.
Thanks, all good.
Blue 20 in the air.
Nice to see Nicholas Herbert just asking, are you all right, mate? Are you okay? That was quite a collision on the floor. Just wanting to check in on his opposition. And it's only going to be a penalty for Crowborough. The Thanet Wanderers are quite lucky, really, to get away with that. Charlie Knight deeming to have brought the player down safety, even though he wasn't in a position to really take the ball in the air, Rocky.
No, he did go up for it, and he was looking at it, but it was just one of those mistimed things, almost a rugby incident where both players are looking at the ball, but you do have that duty of care. I think that's a fair result from referee with just going for the penalty.
Well, it's a scrappy line out. It's not fallen for Crowborough at all. The Thanet Wanderers have that in their hands once again. High tackle penalty against Crowborough, and that brings their most recent onslaught towards the Thanet Wanderers try line to an end. A breath of fresh air then for Thanet Wanderers now.
Absolutely, they rode the onslaught of Crowborough a number of times, and now they get to compete in the line out. About 8 metres from halfway.
Loving the accuracy still. I think it's about 9.5. 8.5, sorry, not 9.5. What am I saying?
What goggles are you wearing?
Clearly the wrong ones. Well, here we go. Thanet Wanderers line out. They're the ones walking into it now. It's gone over the top of everyone, but eventually claimed at the back again by Connor Brown. It's almost like it's a set move, really, that the big second rower just has to watch the ball go over everyone and he'll claim it. But Crowborough win the penalty at the ruck. That's a big intervention there.
Yeah, that was huge, and another example of if you get turtled on your back, you're really easy pickings for somebody, especially if you've got a good jackling side against you. You're easy pickings to have that, your sweet snatched off of you, and nobody wants that. Crowborough are going to kick to the corner now. Another opportunity that they need to do better. They need to win their set piece at times that count. Strong scrum, they need to make these lineouts count as well. So today we've got Andy Stevens, a big Thanet fan. He's from Elite Fitness, and Thanet Wanderers big fan, and he's supporting the boys. So a big shout out to Andy Stevens of Elite Fitness. Hope you're enjoying the match today. I'm sure you want your team to have the biggest of comebacks.
Now, sack's fine.
Well, here come Crowborough now. For an exciting point on the pitch, but they're pulling up here. We've got a bit of concern for Dave Bennett on the floor.
We're just going to wait for a second. Anything from you? No, okay. Alex, nothing? Okay.
Let's listen in to the referee here, what he has to say.
I've got contact. For an attack technique, because that was on the head. So, yellow card. So,
Well, it's a yellow card for Thanet Wanderers. They're reduced to 14. It's not how they wanted the script of this second half to pan out. And now Crowborough with an opportunity. They've gone for the corner on multiple occasions here, Rocky, and they've come away with nothing. Do you take the 3 points because it's not too difficult an angle to work with?
Yeah, I think they should come away with something, as long as they're confident with the kick in. If you've got somebody who thinks they're not going to get it, then obviously just kick to corner. At least you'll get hopefully possession back. Later on, even if the line-up's turned over, they'll kick it out. They've opted for goal, so must show that they're confident. If they get those extra 3 points, that just means they're over a try away.
Rolly Clinch lining this one up for Crowborough. Flew back this morning for the game. He's standing over the top of it now to give his side 3 more points. It's bounced off pretty much every post except going between them, but it's eluded the Thanet Wanderers team, and Crowborough have claimed it from their own failed penalty kick. But this might not be a failed attack because it's looking very dangerous as the Wanderers were caught completely off guard there. And sniping is Clinch. He's gone straight through the Wanderers defence. He may have missed the penalty kick, but he's made no mistake there when sniping around the ruck. Big try in the course of this game. Big try in the course of deciding a Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield final champion.
Brilliant set-up play here by Callum Main. Strong carry from the blind side flanker. You just see that dummy and goes through, skips through 2 players. It's Clinch that goes through, back from his holiday, scores 5 points. Can he turn it into 7? Got to back him.
And he gets the extra 2 points. That is 7 huge points in the favour of Crowborough, and the travelling support love it. They love the tunes ringing out around the Stonex Stadium to celebrate the try scored. Another view of it now here for you all watching at home. And what a great sniping run from the number 17 for Crowborough. And it means that the score now reads Thanet Wanderers 5, Crowborough 17. A 12-point gap now between the two sides. The Wanderers chasing more than just a 7-point try, Rocky.
That's hard to come back from, especially as they haven't strung much together in this second half, but they just need that game-changing moment. Somebody to do something exciting, somebody to do something creative, just to turn the Crowborough defence. Oh, that was almost it.
That wasn't exactly how Josh Radford would want to have dealt with that. He's another example of some homegrown talent.
Yes,
at the rugby club. He's worked really hard, the coach has said, to get into the first 15, but he's made the position his own after converting from the front row within youth rugby. And it's become essential in attack for Crowborough. And they've got to do something special here to make sure they keep a hold of the ball and take themselves out and far away from their own 22. And they're going to set up a little driving maul here. The captain Purnell claimed it easily, unopposed almost from the Thanet Wanderers, despite them lifting up to compete.
Just a little bit slow getting up, weren't they? Got to be quicker. Stay opposite your man. Put pressure on him by going up at the same time. Oh, he's tripped over.
Unfortunately, Charlie Knight has tackled himself right in front of the Crowborough fan base.
You don't often assume players are going to slip and trip on a pitch like this. You see it more on grass, but we've seen quite a few.
Well, Thomas Walton's gone quickly here for Thanet Wanderers, and now on that far side is Charlie Knight, the star in the side. And Dolan came across from his wing to support as well. Thanet Wanderers knocking on the door of the Crowborough 22. They've just about edged inside. So what can they do with this field position? They're going to have to ask some questions of their opposition. Here we go. Thanet Wanderers now firmly inside the Crowborough 22. Great work from Nick Herbert to take it right up to the Crowborough line, but it's been stolen. Stolen away by Van Summeren. But holding on the floor from the big front rower.
What do you think I'm going to say about the ball presentation?
He didn't fall on it.
He did not fall on it, and he didn't particularly do a ball presentation, so it's really, really quick thinking. Phase 1, get the ball. Ball was out. Phase 2, do a ball presentation.
So look, I am learning, I am listening.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. Well, it looks like the Wanderers are going to go for the 3 points here. And with the gap currently standing at 12 points between the two sides, they'll reduce it to 9. So they'll still be out of reach even with a converted try. But as the famous saying goes, every little helps. Pick a shopping place, any shopping place.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Walton's kick is good through the uprights. 3 points for the Thanet Wanderers. 3 more points for the scrum half's tally from the boot. And is this the start of a resurgence back into the game for the Wanderers? And Crowborough are taking their time to walk back up, ready for the kickoff, ready for the restart. And Kieran Martin and Freddie Purnell are at the side for Crowborough, waiting to get onto the park, chomping at the bit to make an impact for their side in front of a massive away support. Just listen to them on the far side of the pitch, it's fantastic.
Well, you know it's a sign of a good club team when they've got loads of travelling support. I think the whole town's come out, it's fantastic to see.
It's what we love to see, towns backing the local community rugby club, supporting them all the way. And now, Thanet Wanderers claim the restart. What can they do with the time that remains? We're coming up to 20 minutes left. The Thanet Wanderers need to piece something special together here, and they're looking to do that. Herbert trying to force the ball out into those wide channels. One more pass surely should have found Charlie Knight in some space on that far side. The superstar lightning winger. And you can hear the referee giving a penalty against Crowborough. A high tackle. It started low, but then it rode up high, and that's why the penalty's been awarded to the Thanet Wanderers. And well, we said they need to put together some sort of mission to fight back this deficit, and they're doing exactly that right now. Got a replay coming in of the challenge now. And Thanet Wanderers have gone quickly. The action is still going on the pitch here, trying to catch the Crowborough defence off guard. Now what will Herbert do? He takes it right to the line. He was looking desperately for someone to offload it to, and rather than finding a teammate, he's found Crowborough. And just as they looked to try and kick this downfield, they've spilt it forward. So Thanet Wanderers still have a chance to do something with the field position they currently possess. Walton running across. High tackle, a seatbelt challenge coming in from Crowborough's second row, Will Creasy. It's another penalty advantage. Be interested to see what the referee does here.
Well, he stopped it.
We'll take a listen in now.
Just going to consult his assistant.
Yes, got it, yeah, got it. Number? Red 5. And we're talking always at high. Started, yeah. And then went up into the head. Recommendation?
Yellow card.
As he was dropping slightly.
And no degree.
That's okay, no good danger. Happy days, thank you.
So, can you talk to the other side rep about hands to the face?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, please.
We just keep an eye, Rob, on hands to the face on the floor. Okay, I need your red 5.
Huh?
Red 5.
Nothing in that, was that said?
Yeah, well, I'll discuss it.
You didn't get a yellow for that.
No. Okay, we have got foul play. You've started too high around the shoulder and up. Okay, the mitigation is that it's low impact and low force, so we're going yellow card only. But it's very high, and you've had plenty of sight of what was going on there. Okay, but because of the slight drop and also the fact that it was very low impact, yellow card only. You've got to get a check like that. It's 3 in a row for you guys. High tackles. Okay. Yeah.
Creasy is given his marching orders.
Time back on.
He's sent off for Crowborough. He's lucky to get away with just the yellow, the referee saying, and now Thanet Wanderers are going in search of a try of their own, which would bring them right back into this fixture.
Ball's available.
Who's going to be the one to crash over for the Wanderers?
Hands up, red. Advantage offside.
Offside called, they have the penalty advantage. They can try something special here, but it doesn't look like they're going to need it because Daniel Clement is over. The front rower has bulldozed his way in for a score. And that is exactly what the Wanderers were looking to do.
And that's the spark that they needed, wasn't it? The hooker who was there ready just took the rip off of Harry Clement, went over Daniel Clement, but it started with his front row pal, Gulliver Goodall, who carried, bulldozed his way through out to a metre or two, and then it was finished by his teammate Daniel Clement, who went over. He's been carrying well all game. Great finish.
Out of all the players, they definitely deserve to get a try because Clement has given everything in this game so far for Thanet Wanderers. And it sails through the sticks, through the reliable boot of Thomas Walton. The gap is reduced even further. The extra 2 points have been added. And we almost talked about Crowborough running away with this. But Thanet Wanderers have fought their way back slowly but surely, because the score now reads Thanet Wanderers 15, Crowborough 17. 2 points in it, 17 minutes left. It really is all to play for, Rocky.
Oh, it is, I'll tell you what. You know, we're 3 games in and I'm standing, I'm off my seat, I'm raring to go. The 18 minutes left on this game, could go either way. Thanet have been doing the comeback of all comebacks, and it's up to Crowthorne now. Do they let them ride away with the momentum? 2 points down, or do they put a stop to it and get the turnovers they need? Get some vital points on the board.
Well, both sides making a series of changes. Maybe some fresh legs, some rested legs could be the difference between a runners-up medal and a winner's lap of honour.
It's not often you'll see him hopping around on one leg, is it? Big man Connor Brown. He's so strong, he just managed to hold off people.
Unfortunately, though, it's not quite worked for plan for Thanet Wanderers, and Sam Taylor penalised for holding on the floor. Returning from a knee injury, and you can tell from the immense amount of strapping on that right knee that's keeping him on the field today. And Kieran Martin sends that one into touch for Crowborough.
You could just tell when a player's really comfortable kicking the ball. They have that little skip after they do it, don't they?
I would too if I could kick as well as him, that's for sure.
Well, I'd probably skip over and fall over.
Well, Crowborough have a line out. That's 6 metres out from the Thanet try line. Thanet are staying down. They've gone to try and collapse that maul to stop them from getting anything going forwards. And Crowborough have got to reorganise themselves because they weren't able to get a driving maul going. Instead, Richard Tasker peels, he goes. He's got the support, they've got quick ball.
Just need to get numbers latching on. If you're getting 2 guys hitting you back, you need to meet it with 2 guys in attack.
As the referee's just said there, the counter ruck is good by the Thanet Wanderers, but Crowborough have somehow managed to keep that ball boast, working back infield, doing anything possible to keep this attack alive for Crowborough.
It's forward rolls going in there, Cinch, I think, showing off his gymnastics.
They are edging ever closer now. Crowborough are knocking on the door of the Thanet Wanderers try line. Bear in mind they're doing this with 14 players on the pitch, and they have the penalty advantage. Some achievement this would be to come away with a score. Offloading on the floor, the crossfield kick. Acres of space on that far side. Did they ever get the ball down? They did. The try is good for Josh Radford. The superstar youngster gets it down on that far side. Fantastic vision from Kieran Martin with the crossfield kick. And Crowborough, with 14 men on the pitch, have upset the party of the Thanet Wanderers.
What a try, that was outstanding. We'd seen a number of pick and goes, they got the advantage. It was Cinch who was going through, but that pass from the floor, one hand, beautiful kick off 21, the replacement. Kieran Martin out to the youngster, he gets tackled, almost held up, but he does so well to ground it.
You can see what it means to him there, the massive smile that was on his face. He hasn't given the easiest kicking angle to work with, but he has given his side 5 more points. Their lead is extended to 7 once again, so even if this doesn't go over, Crowborough are forcing Thanet to go in search of a converted try to level the scores, and they need to try and get something else to take victory from them. And the kick isn't good enough, unfortunately, on that occasion, but Crowborough will still be happy they've managed to score a try with only 14 players on the pitch. The Thanet Wanderers will not be happy with that, and they'll be looking to come straight back out the Crowborough side.
Well, I must say, normally it's a disadvantage having a player off, but does it mean that they're actually playing better, they throw more into it when they are a player down? We've seen earlier the team scored 2 tries when they were down to 14. Seen 1 in this game. What else is left?
It's the beauty of the Papa John's Community Cup finals. Anything is possible, anything can happen, and both of these sides are treating us. And Thanet Wanderers concede another penalty at the ruck. Their penalty count keeps going up in this game, and people even as high up as Eddie Jones have said it about sides that they've coached. If you keep giving away penalties, you can't even think about winning a game.
Well, the ideal amount of penalties is obviously less than 10 in the whole game, and I reckon we've probably had quite a few in the first half for sure against Thanet. And we've got to be looking quite a few again now. They cut those out, they'll be doing all right.
Rolly Clinch is just receiving a little bit of treatment there on the far side. Staying down, so we've got a little bit of a break. What would be your message as a Thanet Wanderers coach to your playing group? You find yourself 7 points down in a game where you go in as favourite because you finished higher in the league and you beat them on both occasions during the regular season. So what's your message now to your side?
They've got to have confidence that they can beat them because they've done it before, but it's about staying patient and taking the opportunities when they come. Do not force it. The amount of times I've seen players force that extra pass when it wasn't needed, when there's a player in between. And don't give away silly penalties. Okay, you don't want to come in from the side from the ruck, don't want to go with high tackles. Just make sure, even if you lose a metre or two and you're onside, that you make sure that you are really squeaky clean. You cannot afford to give any more points away. This is still in reach and distance, but if there's any more points on the board, it could be a different story.
And we're only a few minutes away from the final 10 minutes. The closing act, the curtain caller, as many might call it. And Crowborough have certainly got the upper hand, but they haven't been able to claim that ball at the line out, their own line out. Thanet Wanderers come away with it. They need to do something with this possession now.
Quick punch, the space and wide, but they've got to win it cleaner.
Penalty, not rolling away Crowborough. So, thought they went away quickly there, the referee calling them back, and I tell you what, Thomas Walton's not happy with that.
I think the ball actually ended up touching the referee, so he was saying it touched me, so you've got to come back. But we've seen Thanet, they're able to disrupt Crowborough's defence. But then when I feel that lets them down, it's that they slow it right down, and you only need to do that maybe when you're a few metres away from the try line. When you're 22 metres out, still play with that high tempo, but just don't force it. Don't force that offload. Maybe have a quick ruck, play an extra phase or two.
Well, Thanet Wanderers taking their time to get into the line out, to get set. They've gone for a shortened line as well, 5 of them in there. Free kick though, early lift from Crowborough, says the referee. And surprise, surprise, Walton taps and goes. Herbert now, the captain, weighing up his options. Where's this going?
Yeah.
To be fair, Marius Thompson doing really well there to go out, find a bit of space and then find his winger, Andrew Dolan. The try scorer no less for the Thanet Wanderers. Big carry coming in from the second row, Connor Brown. How is he still going? How is he still doing that? But unfortunately a knock-on the floor in the ruck by Thanet Wanderers means possession is turned back over to Crowborough. This game, it's very stop-starty, Rocky.
Yeah, they just need to be more clinical. Obviously, fatigue is coming in. It's hot out there as well. They need to look after the ball and just be clever when they go in the rucks. Be over the ball, centre the ball as they go in, so there's no knock-ons. But make sure that they're looking after it. It's all about having that sense of calm to be able to look after the ball. And when it's on, that's when you go.
And leaving the field now as well, Daniel Clement, one of the try scorers for Thanet Wanderers. Seems to be that he's played his final part in today's game, and Kurt Pearson now comes on. And he's known for literally throwing himself into everything and anything, any game he plays in. So that's quite the reputation to come onto the pitch with, really.
That is a huge reputation, isn't it?
Watch is back on. Scrum reset is about to happen and the game will get back underway. Crowborough have the put in. About 15 metres out from their own line, 10 metres out from their own line, I should say. Sorry, I've got someone judging me just next to me. Made the wrong judge on the distance there. I do apologise, Rocky. But Thanet Wanderers with the early shove, giving away the free kick. And Crowborough surely just look to kick for territory. They won't get the line out, but if they can kick and gain some territory, that alleviates another set of pressure.
Absolutely, and just another let-off.
That was the calmest little tap I've ever seen from their hand. Kieran Martin, take a bow. Every time your boot connects with that ball, you look like the calmest person in the world, and it does exactly what you want it to do, which many kickers would actually be quite jealous of, Rocky.
They would. He looks like he could be in the front row alongside me, but the boot he's got, he is there for that. He's got a bit of pace as well, and look how he's pulling his players across him. He's just organising that so well.
He's rounding up the troops, and Crowborough have only gone and stolen the ball off Thanet Wanderers. Vice-captain Dave Bennett diving on it now for the Crowborough side. And they'll look to attack out with Will Creasy, who's back on the pitch. Crowborough, of course, back up to 15 players. Again, another kick from the hand for Kieran Martin. And it's another fantastic kick. The Wanderers have gone quickly. Bose is in the backfield. Bertie Bose with ball in hand. Bit of space in behind the initial line of defence. It doesn't find the space, instead it finds the Thanet Wanderers team.
He just needs a bit of practice, doesn't he? He needs to go kicking with Kieran Martin. He finds the space.
I'm sure Kieran will show him the ropes as this game goes on, as more time passes. But it's another penalty given up by Thanet Wanderers, and Crowborough have an opportunity. Will they go? Would you go for 3 here with that reliable boot?
Yeah, I think you would. And then obviously that makes it, you know, you're out of going for a draw then.
Well, 3 points takes them 10 points clear of the Thanet Wanderers, and
referee's trying to get on the tee.
Ollie Clinch just nudging him out of the way. And as you can see, fantastic to see so many fans turning out to support their sides, support their local clubs, support grassroots rugby at the Papa John's Community Cup Finals Day here at the Stonex Stadium in North London. And it's very much advantage Crowborough right now. And it's 3 more points to the good for Crowborough. The reliable boot of Ollie Clinch paying dividends once again. And maybe, just maybe, the Crowborough faithful who have travelled all the way here to the Stonex Stadium today might start to think to themselves, those 3 points have clinched them a trophy.
Very good. I'm wondering when that was coming. He's made a certain impact in this game, hasn't he? You can understand why they wanted him. You mentioned earlier that he just got back today.
He's pretty much been with the club since he could run, I've been told. Kieran Martin, that's a spiral bomb and a half. That's going to challenge Marius Thompson. He does well. He'll send a high ball of his own, and Martin comes forward. Lovely little step.
Ah! He's off. Go on, fella.
Absolute filth. Brilliant, brilliant work from the Crowborough player. And he wins his team the penalty because Thanet Wanderers were trying to tackle him far too high. And Marius Thompson shakes his head and marches back with the rest of his Wanderers side. And Kieran Martin will step up once again to boot from the hand. I must say he's a fan favourite at the moment, because from our stand everyone's cheering for him.
They love him, don't they? You can hear him going wild. I'm a big fan. Kieran Martin, look at him. He's got the arm sleeve, he's got the strut. Is there anything this man can't do? He can make as many yards as he can, kicking with the ball in hand. Tasty little player to come on, boss the side, pull the strings, make the difference.
Potentially a player of the match nominee, but we'll find out in a couple of minutes from our very own Rocky Clark who's going to be nominated for that. But for the moment, Crowborough have got a good driving ball set up once again. Creasy adding his weight, holding the ball just behind him for Clinch. And Clinch goes himself on the blind side. Clinch one-on-one. But an offload from the replacement scrum half doesn't quite find his teammate. And it was a good cover tackle from Thomas Walton as well. The Thanet Wanderers scrum half, who's still playing just as hard as he was in minute 1. Here now, as we approach the 77th minute of this Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield final. Rocky Clark, standout players. Get your player nominations for man of the match through now.
Well, there's been some tremendous players out there. Josh Radford earlier, Harry Slater, Callum Main, they've all been great players. Ollie Clinch obviously made a big difference. Kieran Martin up there as well.
Well, that's bobbled out the back of the scrum for Thanet Wanderers, and that wasn't exactly what they would have wanted. And because they carried the ball over, and because they grounded it first, it's going to be a Crowborough scrum 5 metres out. And we know how dangerous that Crowborough drive has been at scrum time. We potentially start talking about penalty tries or driving scrums going over the try line for Crowborough, maybe, or
We could indeed, and that would be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it? They've got a big, strong, powerful pack. They're doing it all day. Forced to get their awards and playing well.
well, here they go now. Purnell, the captain, number 7 on his back, steering the ship from the back of the scrum. The penalty advantage is there for Crowborough. Purnell going for the line himself.
At least he got the right line this time.
He is held up though. We're coming back for the penalty advantage, but here's a replay of that effort. Just as the Wanderers fold under the pressure, Purnell peels, he goes, but great red zone defence coming in from Thomas Walton there to stop any more embarrassment to the Thanet Wanderers party. And as we count down even closer and even further towards the end of this game, the gap is still 10 points, and a try now would surely secure victory.
Yeah, it would indeed. They've got to go again for this. Just like him to keep it in a little bit longer. Get underneath. Oh, it's bobbled out, but it's Clinch who's gone off with it.
Clinch with his own show and go. Presented the ball back quickly. He's done really well there for Thanet. Rolling towards the line.
Desperate for a try, but he's been done for a double movement.
And that was the captain, Alex Purnell, who thought he'd been able to dot down for a score, and instead the pressure is relieved for the Thanet Wanderers. They now have the line out. They're outside their own 22. They're not home and dry just yet, but also Crowborough haven't got both hands on the trophy just yet as well. We've still got time left because our clock doesn't quite line up with the referees, although it is close. Can't guarantee that there really are only 20 seconds left. Good move at the line out there by the Wanderers. Into the backfield. Herbert wants that ball out wide quickly. Charlie Knight surely screaming for this on the far side of the pitch. Does Marius Thompson need him? The pass is not good. The pass is also forwards.
Unfortunately, that's been the story of the day, hasn't it, for Thanet? They've had these opportunities, just those 1%ers have made the difference. Just flown forward by a centimetre. Just needs to get his hands pointing back at the player he was passing to. Really unfortunate for Thanet.
Do you know what I love that I've just seen is, there you go, they're egging on the crowd. Those Crowborough players have turned to the faithful fans. They've travelled to the Stonex Stadium today. They are getting them geared up, raising the noise levels here in the Stonex Stadium in North London. And they'll clap off their players leaving the field now as number 19 and number 20 come on for Crowborough. That's Errol Munoz and Ed Rogers. And it must be said actually as well, Ed Rogers' favourite food is Papa John's pizza. So he said, can he have an advantage for this cup final? I don't think he needs it because his team have gone and done a stellar job.
They have indeed, haven't they? They were under pressure a number of times, but they withheld it.
Well, here we go with what must be one of the final plays of the game. Crowborough set up for a scrum put-in. Good solid platform so far. Neither side yielding much space, and Purnell has to peel and go eventually. That pass wasn't quite to Martin's hands, below his knees and away from his feet as well, but somehow Crowborough still had the ball. Lovely little step from Purnell there. Crowborough on the front foot yet again. good work from the Crowborough pack, even though they've just had another massive scrum. All 8 forwards have worked round. They've won another penalty. It's gone against the Thanet Wanderers. And Crowborough opting for a shot at goal. They want 3 more points. And Dave Bennett just making sure that his teammates know they can take their time with this latest penalty kick.
Yeah, they can. Obviously, our clock has gone into the red, but we're just seeing them trying to ride it out, and it's going Cinch going for another kick. So he's got his hand up towards a player of the match performance as well. There's been a number of players that have really stood out for me. Just setting the ball up, ready for his routine that he goes through.
Ollie Clinch to seal victory for Crowborough. The kick is good. The dreams of Thanet Wanderers are shattered because Crowborough have extended their lead by a further 3 points. Clinch's boot has definitely been the decider in clinching the victory today. And with surely only seconds remaining, even Charlie Knight claiming the kickoff, claiming the restart for Thanet Wanderers. There's not much else that this side can do because the score now reads Thanet Wanderers 15, Crowborough 28. Herbert with a little chip through. It's not quite worked out. Maris Thompson was chasing after it, but Crowborough come through. Boast trying to play out, but he's isolated, holding on the floor. And there will be marks back 10 for delaying game.
Right.
And so they go again. Now, what can Thanet Wanderers do with this position on the field? Can they have the last laugh in today's game? Huge hit coming in on Kurt Pearson.
Boast, you can boast about that. Hell of a hit.
You don't see many fly halves putting those sorts of hits in. Maybe here at the Stonex with Owen Farrell, but not so common across the rest of rugby. And that pass going behind everyone, but eventually tidied up by Leonard Brown. Yellow carded earlier, and ever since he's been on fire for the Thanet Wanderers. And that's it. The full-time whistle blows. Crowborough are your Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield Finals champions. The roar of the crowd. The celebrations begin. Crowborough are the champions on this occasion. It's their first victory over the Thanet Wanderers this season. They'd finished above them in the league table. We always knew it'd be a close game. But Crowborough have stuck it out to the end. Even though they may not have struck first, they may not have scored the first try, they may have looked the weaker of the two sides on some occasions. They've really clubbed together as a team. They've got all their supporters rallying behind them as they flood down towards the touchline to give their support and to celebrate with the players. They've really showed great grit and determination to come away with a victory here. Rocky Clark, player of the match. Who's it going to be? Because to me it could be anyone across that entire squad.
Yeah, I have to say it was a really, really close corner. I had to ask for a bit of advice as well on here because there was a number of players that really stood up to me. But Alex Purnell was fantastic today, a real leader. Obviously he's captain and we know how well he plays. He got some really good front football alongside his other back row pal. Callum Main, he was on fire today. Will Creasy, so much work rate within that forward pack. But it's somebody that came on, made a difference. Ollie Clinch came on, scored so many points, and I think he was the difference in the two. But notable, honourable mention for the big man, Kieran Martin as well, who was kicking fantastically. But my player of the match is Ollie Clinch, who clinched the man of the match point.
See, you like my puns so much, you're actually stealing them off me.
I am. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Well, there you have it. Ollie Clinch, you are the Papa John Men's Counties 1 South Shield final player of the match. He's been the key difference between a runners-up medal and a lap of honour here at the Stonex Stadium in North London. And there's the tunnel of applause formed by either side, a mark of respect, because even though they've spent 80 minutes knocking 7 bells out of each other, they can at least take 2 minutes here at the end to congratulate each other on what has been a great game of rugby that we've been treated to. And the end of a fantastic season for either side. And for Crowborough, it ends in some silverware. Fantastic treat for them. Tell you one person who'll be cheering about this, ex-Crowborough player Dylan Hartley. He's surely watching this from home, the former England captain.
You'd imagine so. Once a crow, always a crow, right?
Absolutely. Where is that crow, come to think of it? We've lost him. The mascot has eluded all of us. The mascot's eluded all of us, but the celebrations won't elude us. Beautiful scenes as the Crowborough players go over to the fans who have made the journey to cheer them on. Fantastic scenes here at the Stonex Stadium. As I said earlier, Sussex RFU have honoured them as one of the best run clubs in their county. And you can see why from the travelling support, the fact that so many want to make the effort to rally behind that team. And it's Thanet Wanderers who step up first to receive their runners-up medals. Special mention to Mike Pond, the head coach, Elliot Blackmore, the forwards coach, Gareth Redmond, the fitness coach, Kieran Hopper, the team coach, and Michelle McLean, the team manager. And to everyone that volunteers their time at Thanet Wanderers to make rugby happen and keep rugby growing in that area of England and bring such success as a finals appearance for this side.
Talking about supporters, we've got people watching in Canada. We've got Lawrence Ross, who used to play for Crowborough, was his old junior club before he left the London Scottish and now lives in Canada, is hugely into his rowing and his rugby, but he sends a big shout out to them and congratulates them on a fantastic victory.
Well, and stepping up now to collect their winners' medals and the shield itself, Crowborough, because they are the Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield champions. They've claimed that silverware, and a special thanks goes out to Jodie Levitt, the head coach, Stuart Dawson, the forwards coach, Stuart Thresher, the backs coach, the physio and first aid help through Mike Churchyard, and the team manager and admin guru, Ian Gearing. And indeed, big thanks to all those that volunteer their time at Crowborough Rugby Club, that make rugby possible in that area, that support all the teams within the club itself. Big congratulations to all those who have made the trip down as well to support the Crowborough side that cheered them on in their victory today here at the Stonex Stadium. And the final man to collect their winner's medal, Dave Bennett, who will also collect the shield itself. They'll walk over to their team because Crowborough are your Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Shield Finals champions! Congratulations to Crowborough RFC. That is the end of Game 3 of 4 today here at the Stonex Stadium. But give us a few minutes and give yourselves a break for a few minutes, but don't go anywhere, because Game 4 is right around the corner with the Papa John's Men's Regional 2 South Shield Final between Beaconsfield and Dartfordians, and that kicks off on the dot at 5 o'clock, so don't go anywhere.